Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. I felt this was something that needed to be discussed. So, this is an extra bonus content video which was not planned for this week. This is legit. I'm filming this morning of the day it's coming out, which is never the case with any of the videos that I do. I always film them at least a few days in advance. But I felt this was something that we needed to talk about. And I have this on to just make me look better. Not even because I want it on right now. So, it's very well known. I've made it very well known on this channel that one of the things that I'm going to start bringing to the channel is a news show. And part of what that will entail is me talking about stuff that's in the news, I'm adding commentary to all this. So, I want to talk about something that's very much in the news right now, which is the George Floyd situation, where the cop literally put a knee on his throat, on his neck, choked him out and killed him. Now, what's going to happen is a revival. I don't know if it ever really died off, but I stopped hearing about the Black Lives Matter movement. But what's going to come out of the George Floyd situation is the Black Lives Matter movement is going to kind of bounce back up again. And it has a lot of merit. I'm going to probably see a lot of the Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter debate, but people who argue All Lives Matter in this regard, they miss the point. The point of the Black Lives Matter movement is to bring up the fact and bring awareness of the fact that there is an inherent and obstructive racism within this country, and it's especially affecting those of the African American persuasion. Yes, every life matters. No matter how horrible you are, your life matters. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is arguing. Black Lives Matter is arguing that their lives do matter too. That the lives of African Americans matter. Because right now that's not being shown. When Black Lives Matters originally arose, like, 5-6 years ago? It was over this inherent racism that has never gone away within this country. I mean, racism has gotten worse with a president like Donald Trump. And I'm not going to go into politics with Donald Trump and all that, but Donald Trump has kind of pushed racism within this country. He has fostered it. He has not denounced it or tried to stop it. And that's something that's on him as a president. That's his responsibility to try and unite this country, and he has not done it. But that's not the matter I want to discuss here. So what we need to kind of take a look at is the political and more especially the cultural landscape of where we are operating right now within this country. The fact that this type of situation can even happen is absolutely out of this world insane. It proves that racism is very widely still acknowledged and known within this country, and people don't care enough. Like, it took outrage over that officer and many, many people complaining that he should be getting fired for him to actually lose his job. That should have been something that happened right away. As soon as that video came out, okay, you're gone, you're fired. You no longer have a job as a police officer. Especially because the job of the police is to enforce the law, but also protect the citizens of this country. And they did not protect him. It's becoming more and more apparent that there are a lot of bad apple cops and a lot of racist cops. Now, I am not saying that to say that police are bad or anything, and that's not ultimately what the Black Lives Matter movement is trying to argue either. They want to try to eliminate the racism that has become very prevalent within this country. And I think that's a very valid and understandable goal. Anyone fighting against that should not be part of this country. This country, for almost all of its history, has served as a melting pot of cultures. And racism in any country should not stand. But especially in a country that has prided itself on being cultural, on being this melting pot of culture, and talking about how we are the land of the free, if you're white, pretty much. That's unfortunately the situation, the scenario that we are living in. You are free if you are white. Let's go back a couple weeks ago to the protests, the armed protests over businesses being closed because people wanted to get a haircut, because people want the economy opened. The armed protests. But nothing happened to those protesters. Meanwhile, people protest this. And there's tear gas brought out. Because the people protesting are of the African American persuasion. Whereas in the first group, they were white. They were a Caucasian. There is a systematic racism within this country, and we need to break down the wall of that racism and kind of start moving forward. We are still stuck, in a way, in the 1800s. The thought process has not kind of advanced within this country for so many people. Like, there's a lot of people where this racism does not exist. There's a lot of cops who are good, honest cops who are not racist, and you are not the ones I am calling out. The ones I'm calling out here, the people I'm calling out here, are the people who are still living in the 1800s and believing that African Americans are inferior to you, and believing the racism and buying into the racism and taking part in the racism. That's not okay. We as a society cannot move forward if we keep living in the past. If we keep our minds in the past. I think it's important for us to acknowledge the Black Lives Matter movement and understand where it is they are coming from, because there is absolutely no way, shape, or form where George Floyd needed to die there. He's there saying that he cannot breathe, and the cop does nothing to help him. Just literally keeps his knee on the throat. That's not okay. For a country that prides itself on being the land of the free, that's not okay. we need to find a way to come together, to unite as a country, and fight to end racism within this country. Because until we do that, things like what happened to George Floyd and so many other people will continue to be the norm, which is completely unacceptable for what so many people declare to be the best country in the world. It's on Trump to step up and work with the rest of the government to try and find ways to stop the racism within this country. This isn't how the news show will necessarily work, but I did think I needed to kind of add some commentary on this. I mean, if you go back to older videos from 2017 and to 2016, I had done some political videos then too. I like to talk about politics. I like to try and discuss these types of things. I've added commentary on those videos. I've added commentary through the Into the Abyss podcast. This is a part of what I like to do. And like I said, this won't be exactly how the news show will run when it does come out. But there is going to include commentary on news items. I don't think it will go for the length of this, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things. And the political and the cultural landscape will definitely come up. I'm sure Black Lives Matter will come up. There's so many different topics that I will be discussing when this actually happens. But for today, I kind of wanted to create a sneak peek and talk about the racial barriers and the systematic racism within this country. It's on us to all come together and fight to end racism within this country. I'm in this fight. What about you? Thank you guys for watching. God bless.